Hi everyone, over at the Chess.com YouTube channel. Welcome to what I hope to make a weekly synopsis of the current Master versus Mini game going over on Chess.com. If you saw the intro video and then wonder where they went, you can click right here and go subscribe to my personal YouTube channel where we put a lot of the content I'm doing regularly just to mix it up. We have so much being produced on this channel. Sometimes we feel good stuff gets covered up by other things, and we're just trying to spread our wings a little bit. So please support us and go subscribe to my channel. But what I'd like to do is provide you with a weekly synopsis on what's going on in the game for analysis, for educational purposes, to catch everybody up, and to invite more people to go and join the official Vote Chess game going on at Chess.com, where the world is currently taking me on. So we're going to start analyzing this position just by backing up and showing you that after my 10th move, how did we reach this Najdorf Sicilian, and what have we all learned so far from the videos that we've been producing daily over at the other channel. Let's do it by backing up. So, starting off, I played e4, talked about that as my main weapon for a long time. Don't need to go too much into the obvious moves here. This is just a Sicilian, an open Sicilian I chose, and after correctly predicting that the world would play the Najdorf, I had an interesting decision to make. Most commonly, I play the move bishop to e3, getting English attack type positions. Of course, both e6 and e5 are possible for black, and in those videos we talked a little bit about the differences in the approach to each. But I decided that playing h3 would be a slightly more challenging, theoretically, move to the world. It's very topical, and it has English attack, or it can have English attack-esque type positions. Plus, I think that there are examples of this move just sort of taking more steps to be a really popular weapon by the best Najdorf players in the world, as shown because Maxime Vachier-Lagrave played it, Fabiano Caruana played it against Hikaru Nakamura in last year's Zurich Challenge. So with some of the best players playing this flexible little pawn move, I decided that adding it to my own repertoire might be a good idea. So if you play a Sicilian or against it, I encourage you to spend a little bit of time learning the theory here. White, of course, is going to play moves like g4 and be really aggressive, potentially like an English attack, or use the fact that the g4 square is guarded for other things, like the bishop on e3 not being tickled by the knight, stuff like that. So black plays e5, which is the main move, and puts a critical question to the pony, which of course I have to go back to e2. And the reason is that the knight won't find a home anywhere else. The struggle in this game is going to be black's lead in development and queenside play against white's long-term positional edges, mainly on the light squares. And if I play my cards right, as you can see in the recent videos on my channel, trying to follow the game by MVL, I might also be playing for the queenside pawns to become overextended weaknesses similar to the light squares. So that's kind of the balance as far as what's dynamically going on here. Remember, this is for general purposes, improving your knowledge of the structure of the Sicilian and to update you on the game. So that's why I'm analyzing it in this way. Black played h5, which is what the world voted on. Makes total sense. It's the theoretically most popular move. And now, after choosing g3, I could have also chosen bishop to g5, but I think g3 and a4. So g3, a4, and bishop g5 are all moves. But I chose g3 as it is the most straightforward way to deal with the dysfunction of the development here, right? If we were following through on what was my purpose of knight e2, so that maybe when I start to get the light squares, these knights work together, well, one of the dysfunctional aspects of knight e2 is that it blocks the bishop, which of course prevents kingside castling and all those things. So g3 just makes logical sense from that perspective. Here the world played knight b to d7, and after I played bishop to g2, they have struck with b5. In the second to last video, I debated all three moves here again: bishop to g5, a4, the more restrictive positional approach, as well as the move I ultimately played. Trying to follow one of the most recent games is where my head's at with bishop g2. I also just trust in MVL's theory in the Najdorf more than probably any player in the world. But I was tempted and really wanted to play a4, especially just from a positional grind. Let's see if my experience as a strategically, more positionally sound player over what I'm hoping are mostly low-rated players voting in the game. Who knows? Maybe there's some GMs too. Maybe that'll pay off in the long run if I can get it more of a grindable position and avoid some of the tactical theory. But in the end, I decided that I didn't know the positions with a4 enough, and I knew bishop g2 a little bit better. Also, I think bishop g5 was played by Caruana over Nakamura in the Zurich Chess Challenge, a game that Nakamura eventually won as black, though, so you can check that out. So after bishop g2, the world has officially played b5, and I have castles. I have castled. Where do we expect the game to go? We expect me to follow through on the plans I'm talking about with knight to d5, especially after black plays b4 here. If he doesn't, I'm going to play natural developing moves to increase my control of the light squares. Of course, the bishop pins the knight, which will help. One of the main lines goes like this, and then as I was analyzing, there's different things to do here as far as just developing simply. Maybe c4 is an idea. I might even want to brush up on the line myself to make sure I feel a little bit more prepared for the possible tactics and structural tension that happens in a middle game. If you're wondering, how do you play a good middle game even after you know your opening lines? Well, you have to know all the common tactical patterns that might occur so you don't blunder, and know what the advice is, or at least what the best players are doing in the critical pawn tension situations, right? Are they exchanging? Are they building on the tension? You have to kind of know the common formations and tactical patterns that are going to occur so that you don't have to spend a ton of time over the board reminding yourself of those things, and that you can just focus on calculating. And that's where experience really helps. So this was my synopsis of where the game currently stands. We'll flip back to the main game just to show you again where we're at. Play through the game, and as you can see, every move I just described is indeed where we're at. The world has 23 hours and 59 minutes to move. If we pop over here, you will see that is exactly what we're waiting for. I hope you enjoy the main analysis template with this funny little red pawn being bullied by the rest of the world. The red pawn is me, and you guys are all ganging up on me. Maybe you should think about that. Maybe you should think about your decisions in life and whether or not you want to be a bully, huh? How about that? Just kidding. Thank you. Go join the game, the Vote Chess game at Chess.com, and subscribe to my personal channel.